Uh, Thank you for coming. I have been in the industry for about 25 plus years. Been a long time. I have done a little bit of everything. I started as a dealer, then I started working for some manufacturers. Now I kind of spend my time a little bit around the world just doing education. I do tech support, sales support, and clinical support. So it's a pleasure being here with you guys. I hope you guys are enjoying ISS. And I pass it.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for the opportunity to share some thoughts, some insights with you. You can take something with you that could inspire your work, could help you to do a better work and reach an OT. I'm working in this field for more than 10 years, teaching classes in a school. Is a company that sells this kind of products. I do the assessments. I do classes also sometimes. And yeah, I hope you enjoy this. If you have any questions, and maybe you can make all the questions. And yeah, let's get started. Hope you enjoy this. So Francisco and João, they sleep. These are the guys. Francisco, he has cerebral palsy, is very spastic. João, he has a neuromuscular disease, spinal muscular atrophy, type 1. So different diagnoses, different challenges, and they have the same goal. They have a common goal, despite their problems. Then they don't posture about which kind of drive controls they use. They don't care about it. They just care about one thing: drive safe so they can engage more, right? They just want to be able to drive as efficient as possible, right? In different kind of activities. You see, we tend to listen in my practice, we tend to look right away at the posture, right? To provide better posture, better alignment, and sometimes we confuse ever be our goal. Why do we want better posture? Why do we want more alignment? If we answer that question, we have better pressure distribution, we can tolerate more time, feel comfortable without skin problems. Maybe you want better posture. Maybe you want a better posture to be more functional and to engage more. So the end goal should be related to programs. Going through a better posture will not help the people that we are working with. A classical example is if you provide better posture, more alignment, and we'll see that in a minute, we have more fun. We see some people with cerebral palsy that with too much stabilization, with too much alignment, you see, I think it's easy to follow so far. Another example, this is also a girl with cerebral palsy. We were just alignment as possible in the pelvis, but she was making a pressure point. You see the green line represents the hip pelvis of the pelvis. So since it's a cerebral palsy, the brain was sending messages to the muscles to activate and position it, right? So in this situation, provide more alignment was not good. Francisco, as I said before, many years with a bad or poor posture. And he didn't care about it because he was, but at some point he started to have some problems. So we needed to work on his posture and drive the wheelchair, the power wheelchair. And João, he does not tolerate a good posture. We need to work on that and find a way so João could drive, right?
This guy, you have no idea how this guy is special. So when we met him the first time, we got a university, and you know, it's not staying too long in his chair, driving the chair, but we're starting to feel, you know, you start having respiratory infections, and we want to deal with that, okay? And we want the family was, they said about, you know, letting me go to uni and be in school for 8 hours, okay? And fluctuates a lot. Very smart guy, today is a lawyer. Okay, so it's finished for us to be a part of that. And I think you guys feel the same. You know, we had to deal first with was obviously for him to go to uni, be able to drive the chair, you know, in a comfortable way. But we had to deal with a lot of different issues before, about a lot of different stuff that he was not complaining about because he didn't care. Okay, so when we first, we saw a lot of abnormal movements that he had. The position was not good, and assessment, we know that we are looking for postural control. That's what we do, or try to do. But how we achieve that first, okay, to achieve that postural control, and we can either correct whatever we see in our clients, we can prevent them in the case of early intervention, or we need to accommodate in case that we already have some fixed formations. So I guess that for me, at least, function would be my ultimate goal. Function is not just someone that is pelvic control or pelvic stabilization will allow me to have a better trunk function that will allow me to control my upper position as well. So everything is kind of connected, and this is very basic, as you guys know. So we're going to do a little bit of your second day at ISS, and we're going to sit feeling a little bit asleep. So I want you guys to do this exercise with me. I want you guys to form pairs. I want you guys to sit upright in your chair. Thank you. Thank you. And you put your standing, okay? And trying to push my arms down till I touch my knees. Okay? Do that through. Then I'm going to do the same thing, but with the posterior pelvic tilt. As much as possible, and do the same thing. I want you guys, the muscle groups that you are using to hold your arms upright, how much strength you need to apply the sliding position.
No possible.
Okay. Good. Okay, everybody try that. So first question for you guys is, if time, how can I ask someone to be paying attention in the classroom? Because it's so hard. Can I ask someone to drive the chair, even if it is a power chair, because the effort that I need to do to function with my upper extremity is going to be hard. Exercise. João is distributing some balloons, okay, and don't mess with balloons yet, okay. I want to ask the people on my left to sit upright on the chair, and the people on my right to sit. Want to see that cervical flexion, okay? And everybody has the balloon already? Come on, man, you need to be quicker. That's the reason I asked you guys to be closer to us. Come on. Remember, everyone on my right with the posterior pelvic tilt, I want to see that cervical flexion. So sit upright, extend the trunk, good head positioning, okay? I'm going to come to 5, and I want to stop, you stop, okay? Good? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come on, guys. Stop. I didn't say I did. Let's try that again then. Good. Okay, so I'm gonna start.
This is
Good. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. 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 The balloons. Can you see the difference? Can you see the difference? Okay. So let's swap now. Sure. Extended trunk.
I don't have
Good head positioning. You guys go into a posterior pelvic tilt. Okay. You ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop. Okay. 8. Okay. So my point is, if I force my client to be seated with a posterior pelvic tilt, okay, so the point is, if you have a client that sits on so much that is going on over there, that will affect his ability to perform, to be functional. And this is exactly the case of Francisco. So the first video shows Francisco driving his chair. It's been a chair that he had for many, many years. So the size was not proper to him, but you see, you're able to drive with his hand. Okay. The other one is him just trying to show us. You get nervous, and you see the very rigid mud on this guy's body, and you see the position. So he's always bent over with that kyphosis, and this is what the family was struggling, from day one. This is his position. This is what is creating all these problems. Okay, so they were looking for just a power chair. I just want a power chair. A little bit more than that. right? It was, okay, so I can give you whatever posture you want, but this posture and his support is going to have the same problems with the new posture it has with this one. So we did an assessment, and this is what we come up with. So first of all, there's a lot that is going on anteriorly to him, right? So you see a little bit more to the back, just a little more, but I can see him. Maybe at the beginning of the video. Perfect. That's surely right. So I is using two hiccups. Two. He's using some foot ankle levers as well. He's using the chest harnesses, right? So when we start doing his assessment and we start, checking how to tell us this will work, this will not work, right? So if you stabilize my legs, stabilizing my trunk, so he was very vocal about it. So that's why you see a lot of stuff going on here because he was supported. I want to see. I don't think I can point here, but you see a switch in front of the armrest. This is going to do because he's driving with a headlight, right? He's driving with a headlight. And I don't know if you remember the first video. Actually, you can see the image on the left. You see how deeply we increased his head control, that he was able to drive a chair, driving to. And is not, perfect. So it's jumping around a little bit, but it's the same type of chair. So meaning a rear wheel drive chair let's play the video again. So that's in the old chair. The other one, please. Let me put that on. Sorry. I guess that's not very good with technology. Good. Okay. Now, and you guys just click the button so that you can change. Speed. So on upper extremities and head control, so that he'd be able to, drive his chair as fast as he could, and like seating options and speeds and so on. Okay, using his head. For that to happen in this particular case, we needed to do a lot in terms of skill. He was very vocal about it, so he would tell us this will work, this will not work, and we kind of went through there. But this is a case because when you see, Francisco, with the new system, you see a lot of stuff. And normally we tend to get away of using a lot of different stuff, but every case is a different case. In the case of Francisco, we need a lot. So one of the things also that we use is the 3 points of contact to Francisco is very important to give the proper stabilization that we need on the trunk. And you can see another image of Francisco here with every time we're doing sitting assessments and we look at older systems. And I never, in my mind, I said, well, if I need laterals, this means that I need to posture or I need to correct something. And so if I have a C-curve, an scoliosis, and I'm forcing my client to be using symmetrical laterals, so at the same height, how is that helping the scoliosis out to the 3 points of contact and how we should be using lateral? Because, some people will say, well, I just want to give them a little bit of lateral contour back. It'll be more than enough. And it's more easier for my client. It's going to be more cost effective. Good. So in this particular chair, because he was going to school, there's a lot, and he was able to do this entire degree using the control of the chair, just really. And I think this is it for friends understand him better because again, we increase his head control better. So he's breathing better, he can communicate better. Okay. He can access all the things it has all the in spending all day in school. So we increased the seating tolerance, which is, a big thing as well. He said, he doesn't need to, obviously, but he was. And he does not get tired, but he's very active right now. I mean, he's all over social media and, his a character.
Let's get back to João. Completely different approach. Muscle weaknesses. Muscle atrophy, breathing and swallowing complications, flexible trunk position, or even his head, he could not hold his head in the midline. Okay? Let me just give. In this picture, we can see João when he was more or less 6-7 years old, using his poor wheelchair. See that he can hold, with that positioning system, he can hold a trunk in an upper position. In the head, he can hold the head in the middle with that kind of support. But when we did the assessment, this posture, he had a brother older than him, that when his brother was, wait, same diagnosis, exactly the same diagnosis, the same disease as João. Or not, when João turns more or less 12, 13 years old, he lost the ability to drive, was adjusted at that time. Maybe he needed some positioning system adjustments, maybe he needed a different kind of drive control, some changes in measures, but a deep depression because she was expecting the same ending to João. She had was expecting the same fate to João, and she kind of lost the capacity to fight for João, right? And put to the hospital because it's not usual at all. Someone with this disease that can live longer out of the box. So I met João when he was 17 years old at the hospital. I'm in the bar, nearby the bar. I said, "Hi João, how are you? Nice to see you. Long time no see. Where is your power wheelchair?" Lying down with his head rotated to one side. And he said, I don't have a power wheelchair. I can't drive anymore. I said, really? Was in the bathroom or at the bar, I don't know. But meanwhile, his mother came back and I asked his mother, I said, we have a posture to proper drive a power wheelchair. Doctor says he can't drive. Really? Can you get a try? Can we? And the hospitals pays 100% for these products, but we need a doctor to prescribe it. So we asked ethical, and you will see why, but they say, okay, you can do the assessment, and if one can drive, we'll prescribe the product. Just to look at João's posture. Only the wheelchair. Very smart guy, no cognition problems, but he cannot see to the front, right? How can João see to the front? And how can we find a way so that João can drive the power wheelchair? You can see that on the video. We applied it in the wheelchair, in the power wheelchair, filming the front field in front of his head, so we can see what's happening in front of him. And to find the drive switch with the scan mode, but we all know that scan mode is boring. And at the end, we came out with a mini proportional joystick that flips, right? We also can see in the other picture, in the manual wheelchair, it's as in the video, as in the assessment. But we'll get there. Let's have a look to the assessment. This is outside his house. Sure. He cannot accelerate upward trunk position. He cannot accelerate the head in the midline. Even could not breathe and swallow properly. So I think we should take that in consideration and find ways that he could drive in this position, more or less after the assessment. And I don't know if you noticed, but in the assessment is looking to the right, and on the delivery is half. And when we made the delivery, he was feeling more comfortable and breathing is falling better, looking to the left. So we changed all the system to the left, no problem. João doesn't have like good foam to provide comfort, and you can see with a lot of extension in the back support. New wheelchair, going around a little bit. You can see his head moving a little bit. So we applied like a band, a strap. Look at this position. He needs someone to turn on and off the power wheelchair, but he can access functions. He can access different icons. The display changes, does a scan, and he can choose whatever he wants. Can we imagine the impact of someone 17 years old without being able to move around by himself? It's not a situation like João could be 100% or totally in his house. He can take a walk outside. He can, in the hospital, his mother goes to the bar and he goes to see the different doctors. He can get in and out of their adapted wing on his face when he's driving his power wheelchair. He doesn't need to ask someone to move around anymore. Let's see another video of João driving power wheelchair.
But that's my guy. But you know, just looking at these videos of João driving the chair, it's just like it's awesome. You're in front of him, right? the notion of space that he has, it's just like unbelievable.
Running. Can you see the stroller? We can see the stroller. Look, the green one. Do you see it?
No, I didn't want to see that. That's like a torture machine.
If it works. There it is. What happened was like João kind of gained a new life. He was motivated in different kind of activities and driving a small wheelchair. He started to improve his posture. And so this is, I don't know if you have, we don't have idea of the impact this is. Inside the house is trying to maneuver the wheelchair in smaller spaces. He is trying to go to deeper more.
Aí, aspetta. Mais atrás de tudo. Muito bom.
Any question there? Any question? This is. We also for right connection, so we can control his computer, cell phone, and lights in the house, and the sound system of the house. So it was quite a fantastic result. As to take a walk outside. I can be independent in some situations. I don't need to bother my mother all the time. So he doesn't feel
Right, because she would go to the bar. So yeah.
and I feel kind of free when I'm in my wheelchair. So completely different approach and seating system simpler, so to speak, and in both situations, and result that made a huge impact in their lives. So
I had a need to kind of bring him down to midline to control all these inventory movements and so on. On the other case, I just depends on the client. I see around the world people getting consumed sometimes. Posture is important. Whatever posture my client will need, obviously. And there's no way that I can get to a process, a proper sitting assessment. I'm trying to do the best I can for my client, so that he can be in the chair as much as possible.
So if you have any questions, and thank you for being.
Yeah. Jill has the question. I'm sorry. Backup camera, and yes, she was the backup camera.
Philippe, my question is for you regarding Francisco. Can you some intentions in terms of positioning it to still allow for some flexion extension for access to the back patch?
So you saw that in the internet, right? So we have extension on stage 3, C7 and extension C1 by allowing and remember the trunk is it was modifying pelvis first. And those legs, because he was complaining about the legs a lot, that would organize himself to midline, and with the use of the chest harness, the trunk up to kind of position him better with. It's not a standard headrest, obviously, because I have a smoky or anything, because it's the pad for him to drive, right? Remember, he was driving with the head right, so I have 3 sensors there. The case with this configuration, so we wanted to use a occipital to kind of give a little bit of traction, cervical traction, and sustain his head, and give him a little bit more enough so they can activate the sensors for the head driving. Yeah,
but it's a good some way for so many years when we change and when we ask something that looks so demanding, sometimes the tension the other way around. So the tension really decreased using that seating system.
Good question.